It takes so long to build brand that you don't get customers in the door. I want people getting results and getting momentum and not quitting. As you get more well-known, as you help more people, everything you touch will just rise and start to do better.
I wasn't expecting that answer.
We got Melanie Moore in the house. She's been with Movement Makers for over a year, and so we're celebrating by doing an IG Live together. So what do you got? How can I help? What's on your mind?
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for having me on. It's really lovely to be here. I've got a YouTube channel. Well, actually, let me tell you what I do. I'm a coach, and the thing that I'm known for is helping people to create a vision for their lives, help people make vision boards, but then help people to take action. And my business is called Tapping Into Your Big Vision. So I'm also known as a big vision coach. So what I'm known for on YouTube is making tapping videos to help people, overcome life's little, emotional hiccups. Because EFT, I guess you're familiar with EFT, aren't you, Evan?
Yep.
And for those of you who aren't, it's like a cross between acupuncture and energy healing, but we use our fingertips instead of needles, and we tap, using positive affirmations, but we use it to clear emotions. And actually, Evan, I don't know if you know this, but you inspired one of my most recent tapping videos, tapping to believe in yourself a little bit more.
Look at that. I love it.
Because, I use tapping to help people to, reframe stories, to let go of stories, but to form new belief systems, because tapping is really good for that as well. So my question is two parts. So I've got about 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and obviously looking to grow that. I've been really focused on my YouTube channel probably for the last 18 months, 2 years, and I love the chart that you share on your YouTube growth, that in 2014 you had like 4 subscribers, and
it was painful. It was painful. Yep.
And then now you've got millions. So I see that similar growth. That 2 years ago I had 1,000 subscribers. Now I've got 6,000, and it took me about 2 or 3 years to get that first 1,000, because I wasn't really giving it any energy. But now it's just like, from how you did things and your growth, what would be your advice to to make that trajectory go even quicker? How can I speed things up a bit?
Okay, so the first question is to figure out, do you want to use YouTube? And this is what I always go to with people who are building a YouTube channel. Do you want to use YouTube to build a brand that long-term gets you speaking gigs and book deals and all that kind of stuff? Or do you want to build a YouTube channel to help you get clients for your business?
Both.
and both is a great answer. It's fantastic. What's more important right now?
Right now, so I have a membership community as well, and I found that it's been a really good funnel, that people have found me on YouTube and then they're joining my membership community, and the Tapping Into Your Big Vision members community. But I am actually writing a book at the moment as well. So yeah, I'm trying to do all the things, and actually I refer to my tapping videos in my book quite a lot as well.
Okay, so why I bring it up is, one is brand, and you're building brand, and that lives for a long time, but it's slower to get off the ground, and it doesn't pay immediately. And the other pays you much faster, but it doesn't build as much high level brand. And so of course we love both, but like, what's more important right now? So for example, if I wanted to build Movement Makers, if Movement Makers was my only goal, like I want to build my membership community, Movement Makers, if that was the most important thing to me, it would drastically shift the kind of content that I put up. I'm putting up a lot of brand content that then, with time and patience and years, like, great stuff does happen, and we can turbocharge that. But would you rather have, whatever the numbers end up being, like, would you rather have 1,000 new subscribers, or would you rather have 20 new people join your membership?
I guess that's what I've been and I kind of go back to the answer both, because that's what I kind of have been doing. I've been doing both alongside one another. I just used to have online courses, and so I was just known for kind of online courses, but then I've kind of also been doing my vision board workshop. I do those for corporates, but I also do them online as well. So it's kind of turned into an online. So I've kind of got an established online business.
Right.
But I was doing mostly my tapping videos on Facebook Lives, 3, 4. I was using Periscope a lot as well, 4 or 5 years ago. So I love using video, but then so I found I was quite late to the YouTube party. Well, for me it felt quite late.
You got lots of this. You're not late at all. It's still early. Okay,
but then I've seen that.
If I give you the choice, let's 1,000 subscribers or 20. Like you're at 8,000 subscribers, however many people in your membership program. If you can only pick one, obviously we want both. But would you rather subs on your YouTube channel, or would you rather have like guaranteed subs or 20 guaranteed members into your program?
I really can't answer that question. I don't know, because I feel that they've been feeding one another. So I think
they absolutely do, but we can change the relationship. And why I'm trying to get to that, because it drastically changes the content, because it really depends on how much money you need to make in the next 12 months. If you said, hey, I really want to monetize this in the next 12 months so that allows me to build a bigger team and invest in my production and whatever goals that I have for myself, right? Versus money's always great, but it's like I don't really need it in the next 12 months, and I want to build something that's going to last for a lot longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like writing the book is fantastic, but books don't make you money, right? So that's you're betting on brand, right? That, hey, I'm going to have this thing out, I'm going to have my book, and when I do my speaking gigs, and there's some cachet, still attached to it, awesome. But it's not going to, having your book is not going to, if you wanted to get more members into your program, there's faster ways to do it than to have a book. Does a book help? Sure, but it's not the fastest way to do it. So same thing with the YouTube channel. And let me give you both options, and that might help kind of get some clarity.
Okay.
Right? So if you wanted to get more members into your program, then your videos should be about you coaching people through tapping. You should have people, I should see you as a coach, not just you tapping into belief, but like you showing me how I can tap into belief by having somebody on with you. So you bring people on, just like this is very meta. Like I'm having you on, you're part of my membership. People might watch and say, oh, I like that Evan guy. What membership is he talking about? Like you doing the same thing where you bring people in who are either in your membership or on your email list or newsletter list, and you tap with them and show them how to do it and how a lot of people are super afraid of it. It's like, what does that even mean? And emotional freedom, like it's just very scary to people, right? And then you're going to be a friendly voice and walking through it and tell them exactly what to do. And people think they're doing it wrong and like tapping the right spots. And I don't know if you're using like the mantras alongside it, like I am, or, the affirmations, and you do it with them. And when I've gone through it, it's always, okay, tell me your anxiety level when you start, and then tell me your anxiety level now at the end, right? And I went from a 7 to a 3 just in those 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 8 minutes of tapping with you, right? And so you bring people on and you're coaching them through it, and you turn those into videos for your channel. You also want to be way more specific in the title. So instead of just helping people tap into belief, it's who are we helping specifically? Like, who is your best member who is coming into your program? And I don't know if you were on the training last week for Movement Makers, but it was we went through this exactly. It was what's an adjective and then what's a demographic. So if you help overweight moms tap into belief, whereas like it's an adjective that is perceived as negative, and then a demographic, so that if people find that video, it's going to be right speaking to your target audience. Not that overweight moms is your target audience. Just pulled something, right? Shy entrepreneurs or introvert speakers or whatever, right? So that it's a lot more specific to the people who would be ideal clients for your membership program.
That makes sense.
So you could be known as the woman who helps people tap into belief, but that's so broad. That's brand. That's going to take you a long time to build up to that point where you become the Oprah of tapping, that then all sorts of doors open to you, and maybe you're not doing a membership anymore because you're hosting, a 25 city world tour or whatever. So we have to get more specific in the content, and titles really matter. And instead of just tapping into belief or tapping away anxiety or tapping like the benefit you've got, but the demographic and the specific adjective at least wasn't there in the explanation. And maybe it is all over your channel. You're doing a great job, but how, adjective and then demographic and then result. Because most people are just way too broad with the content at the beginning, because you're building brand, but then it takes so long to build brand that you don't get customers in the door.
Okay.
And a lot of this was my whole spiel last week in Mover Makers, because you
need to watch the replay.
You need to. I mean, I think every session is great, but last week's was super important because a lot of people who are in positions like yours will quit. It's like, I'm not getting enough traction. I'm not getting enough sales coming in. I'm not making enough money where I need to be. And so I'm going to go back and do a corporate job or go do something else. Right. I'm not saying that's you. But you're looking at me, like in the first 5 years, the only reason I could keep going with all those numbers is because I already had money. Like I sold my business. I didn't have to get a job. Right. And most people are not in that fortunate situation. So it's, how do we start making money faster so that you can bring on a team? For everybody, support yourself, not have to work another job, and then eventually build a team, scale, if 8 people were working under you, how much more impact and growth can you have for your brand? So that's if you want to build up the membership. Does it help your YouTube channel? Yes, of course, right? If you're making there's not one or the other. It's just like, what lever do we want to pull more? So if you're making these specific videos, coaching videos, in helping X overcome Y specific, you're going to get more people into your membership, more ideal people into your membership program. And your channel will grow, but it won't grow as quickly as it could otherwise, because it's very niche and specific.
Right.
Pushing the lever on, I want to get more members into my thing. That's really important.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So in my members community, we have these Zoom calls twice a month, and my members come on as hot seat guests, and we do tapping with them. And I did cross my mind that I could kind of edit some of these coaching videos, obviously with their permission, and put some of the extracts from the coaching sessions on YouTube. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Possibly. It depends how long the sessions are.
Probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's like the bare minimum. Like, that's where the cutoff would be. And it's also about the storytelling. Because people to understand. So if you're going to have Rachel come on and tap with you, why is she struggling with this anxiety? Like, what's the stress in her life that's leading to her having so much anxiety? And not just, and I'm not saying that you do this, I haven't seen it, but not just, okay, let's get the tapping, tap, 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 I am, right? Because what we need to do is have the people who are watching feel like they connect to Rachel. It's like, oh my gosh, she's just like me. I have those same problems too. And if Melanie can help her, maybe Melanie can help me as well. So those could work. Or you can have, you could have a show like this where they're coming on to your Instagram live, which they know is like, it's public. It's on Instagram. And some people won't want to do it. And that's fine. Totally cool. Some people don't want to share that they were, you hear all sorts of crazy things of what people kind of tap away. I'm sure that a lot of people would never want to have out in the public, that they were raped or whatever. Right? Just all sorts of crazy things. But some people will. Some people, they don't have that same filter. Some people may just really value the time with you. And like, oh my gosh, you get one-on-one time with Melanie. That's amazing. I don't care if it's public. I'd rather do that than have no time or have to spend $1,000 to talk to her or whatever, right?
Well, funnily enough, and I don't know do you remember when Periscope was the thing, that Blab was also this other thing as well.
I love.
I did that. I actually invited.
Nobody's like recreated that, but anyway, yeah.
I know. And so I invited people to tap with me on Blab all the time, and I did. I got customers, and I got loads of customers doing Blab. So yeah, I guess it's just a different platform, isn't it, to do that same thing again, recreating Blab again.
Yeah, I mean, Instagram Live is your closest bet. And now at least you can bring in multiple people. Now, I don't know if you're doing like Blab, I think it was 4 people that you could bring on at once. Yeah. So you can do that now on Instagram if you want to do a group tapping. If you want to do one-on-one, IG Live is going to be your closest experience to it, where you can easily bring somebody in. You can tap with them and then say goodbye, bring somebody else in if you want. And you'll get, like, if you had a show consistently doing that, you will get clients for your membership because they want more of it, and they don't want it to be limited to just one time and then that's it.
Yeah.
And great YouTube content, but the strategy is more membership first that also supports the YouTube channel, as opposed to YouTube first that kind of supports the membership. Like we're floating we're floating both boats. As you get more well-known, as you help more people, everything you touch will just rise and start to do better. It's just like, where is our attention going to be? What's the priority? And if it's members, then great. So focus on members and then create the content that you can release on YouTube and Instagram to help build your community as well. It's just the goal is, hey, I want to go from X members to Y members, which is more important than getting from 8,000 subs to 20,000 subs.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You come along to something like this expecting to hear something, and I wasn't expecting that, but you maybe don't hear what you want to hear, but you get what you need to hear.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not in the YouTube, but I love YouTube.
Yeah.
I just want people getting results and getting momentum and not quitting. So if you said, I don't even care about how many people I get into my membership, it's like so secondary for me. I want to build brand because in 5 years, I want to be on stage with Tony Robbins at his event. And I want to be the tapping people, you know? I forget who he uses for tapping.
Nick Ortner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick. Yeah. The Ortners. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I'm better than them. Or better. I mean, whatever. I want to be
I'm different.
I'm different. I got my style. Yeah, I've got my flavor. And when he comes to the UK, I want to be the tapping people here doing the thing, right? That's a different growth path. And that's long-term success, but it doesn't pay off anywhere close to immediate. And most people don't have the runway, either financially or just emotionally, to stay at it so long before they can achieve success. And so anyway, that's just been the push inside Movement Makers. If you wanted to go brand, then yeah, you're taking on big topics. You're looking at Ortners and all the other channels and making your version of their videos. And it's less focused on how overweight moms can X and more broad, because that's who we're trying to reach. But it's you can get faster YouTube subs on it, but fewer of them will convert to sign up for your membership program.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And I guess that's what, that's what I have been doing more of those generic tapping videos. And some of them, have loads of views, some not so many, a bit more. Yeah, I guess it depends on the topic that I tap on. Manifestation, law of attraction, people seem to love those ones.
Manifestation is just insane. Yeah. It's right now this
is manifestation, being here with you.
Yeah, it's like it's the golden keyword. Like, if you have anything manifestation, it's a huge trend right now. People are loving it. So if you can authentically, right, like, don't just everybody throw manifestation into your title or something. If you can authentically talk about it or tap about it, that's fantastic. That could also be a series where you're helping people tap into their manifestation, right? Like, you have somebody come on and you tap with them and you get a little bit of their backstory. Like, why is this? Okay, you want to tap into abundance. Okay, what does abundance mean to you? It's like, well, I want to get my first book released. Oh, okay. Why do you want to get your first book released? Oh, because I promised my mom I was going to do it before she died. Like, oh, wow. Okay. It's like you get into a little bit of the story, and then you start to tap in so that people who are watching feel connected, just like American Idol. You know, they do a great job of. Or I don't. You watched American Idol?
Yeah, we have this different version here in the UK, X Factor. Yeah.
Perfect. So there's always a little backstory before the person just comes on stage.
The sob story.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it's a feel good story.
Yeah.
And people are coming to you with a pain, you know, and you're going to hold space for them to feel comfortable enough to say what's on their mind and say what they're struggling with. Like they're after an outcome, but they're trying to get through a pain that they're really struggling with. Like, at least for me, and you could tell me I'm totally wrong, but I think a lot of what tapping techniques do is basically just unblock the block, like unblock the pain to do the thing. Like, you know, you want to do the thing, but you've got this block and it's some kind of pain that you've experienced, some trauma, some story that's preventing you from moving forward in this thing, but also in other things. And you need help relieving it, whether it's tapping, whether it's, you know, hiring a shrink, you know, I don't know, whatever, but like, tapping is an option. So like, what is it? And I think having people share a little about that, one could probably even help you do, you know, a better job of the actual tapping, because you know what the block is. But also for people watching, it shows that you care and, you know, you love this person and you're holding space for them. And this may be the first time they're telling anybody. Like, not shock me if like the people who are coming to you, you're the only person they've ever told this thing to that's blocking them. And you're like, you're a complete stranger. And yet they're telling you, but they're not telling their husband or their wife or their family, right? I mean, I could just definitely see that happening. And that speaks to your warmth and care and generosity and just desire to help them get unblocked, right? So hearing a little bit about their story, I think makes the session better, but also ties the people watching and say, holy cow, Melanie, like, really cares. And maybe she can help me too.
Yeah.
Maybe then they at least subscribe to the channel, but maybe they sign up and join your program as well.
Yeah. No, that's great. So you'd recommend doing this on IG and then saving it and then uploading it to YouTube?
Yeah, I would cut it. We're above each other, so cut it. So you're side to side.
Yeah.
Is it all you? Do you have editors on your team? What's the structure?
I have virtual assistants and a couple of freelance team members here in the UK as well. But
do you have like editing capabilities on video or not yet?
Not me, but no, my VA team does that for me.
Oh, but they can do editing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing that, then what you do is, so the editing of putting me on one side and you on the other side is very basic editing.
Yeah.
When you're doing a coaching session, the beginning of the session is not usually very good because getting to know the person. You take the best moments, so the team would take the highlight moments from the clip. So if you're gonna help them for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or however long it goes, you take the best moments or the highlight moments and you put it at the beginning as a tease as to why I should watch this video. When it's just you can control that. You know, if it's just you talking about how to manifest, tapping your way into manifestation for your goals or whatever, you can just go. You can lead with, you know, don't lead with, hey guys, I'm Melanie. Today we're going to do, you know, I'm so excited. Forget all that stuff. You can control how you start a video. When you're with somebody else, you can't really control it. And the beginning usually is boring for somebody to watch. So you can cut and edit the best parts at the beginning as a trailer as to what's to come. And it's also fun.
Yeah.
You know, talking to the camera by yourself is boring compared to actually helping somebody.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's a really good idea. And I'd forgotten I did that on Blab. And it makes perfect sense. I should go back and do what I did then, because it absolutely worked then. And I love tapping with people. And no, I don't do it publicly other than in my members community. They're the only ones who do get to tap with me, but I guess their payoff is it's private. But I guess for somebody else to tap with me, the caveat is that you've got to do it publicly. So
Yeah, and you may already have enough people to do it. Like when you go live, there may already be enough people who will just say yes, I want in. You may have your VA book you a few people to start. Like if you're gonna do a 3 times a week show or whatever, you can have your VA kind of book people out. You can have it as people who join up in membership also get the option to the Instagram live, right? Like this, right? This was because you've been a year with Mover Makers, so this is a celebration. You could have said no, like, hey, I don't want to go on live with Evan. Cool, so I'm not offended. So people don't have to say yes, but it's also, you felt, well, you could say how you felt. I mean, I know you shared to your story, like, I'm excited to talk to Evan. Like, whatever excitement and joy you felt about this, your members will feel about doing with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, as opposed to just being content for you, it's actually a great experience for them to get some one-on-one time with you, because, you see me inside our training, but now this is us hanging out and answering whatever's on your mind, right? So you get to do things. It's very meta. You get to do the exact same thing for the people in your program. And if you don't have enough yet, crossing milestones, then even just people who follow you on Instagram. Like if we didn't go live here, there's a bunch of people who are asking to go live with me right now.
Yeah.
Right. So you might just, as you build up a show history, people will say, hey, like, oh my gosh, can you help me tap with XYZ? But at the beginning, you may have to line people up. So current customers, people who follow you on Instagram, anybody on your email list, you can say, I'm starting a show. I'm looking for 10 people to tap with over 10 sessions. Who wants to?
Oh, I'm so excited to get started.
People, yeah. Well, and that's a great sign too, right? Like there's so many strategies that you could do, but when somebody says, I'm so excited, that's usually a good direction to take. And it's the easiest content to make because there's no prep work. Like you don't need to have an hour call with them beforehand or notes or speech. Like you don't have to have anything prepared because you've been doing this for a long time and that is your preparation. So that you could just have somebody show up. Like if I said, hey, Melanie, I want to tap now. He's like, great, Evan, what do you want to tap on? Oh, I want to tap on making my next YouTube videos amazing. Okay, great. And we just start a tapping session, right? Because you've done it so many times.
Yeah.
And this is where if you're really good at what you do, it's actually the best kind of content, but most people are too afraid to do it because it's out of control, especially in a live situation, because you never know. I never know. I never know what question. I don't know what we're going to talk about today. We didn't give you a questionnaire of 40 questions to answer before we go live, right? Most people are afraid to do it live without all of the background research because they don't have a deep well of knowledge where you know what you're doing. And you can help. Somebody's not going to ask you for like gardening advice, and maybe you are a green thumb. You have great gardening advice, but people don't ask me about gardening advice. They stick to things that are inside my realm, right? So same thing. They're going to ask you tapping related questions, vision board related questions, like things that obviously are in your scope that you know how to answer.
Well, if you'd ever like to tap with me, Evan, the invitation is there.
I like it. All right. I'll keep that in mind. I did a tapping video with someone local here in Toronto, and we filmed it at my studio, mostly just to show that it's okay. Like, I think there's a big stigma against it. People are afraid. They don't know what it is. And the people who have seen like maybe a video or two, like, oh my God, that's stupid. That doesn't work. Like, without even ever giving it a shot. Like, hey, maybe it doesn't work for you, but at least give it a shot. And whether it's tapping or therapy, like I think struggling alone with your problems is just not a good idea. There's solutions out there. And so we made the video also to show like, hey, I'm willing to go off and do this, and when you're even pitching a show, it's the same thing where you can say, hey, like in showcasing whatever you're struggling with, other people who are like you will learn as well that it's okay, that you're actually normal, that everybody goes through something, and that the fact that you're asking for help is courageous.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. No, it's perfect. Perfect answer. I love it. I wasn't expecting that answer. I was expecting you to tell me to make tapping videos 3 times a week or something, but no.
Well, this still is making tapping videos. And you know, again, now for like, if that's their main strategy, so that's going to help us grow our community, our membership, and we're going to make it to YouTube. The thing to think for YouTube side of things is to make it more timeless. So, I mean, it's been a while since I looked at your channel, but I remember when we looked at it before, there was some news, like February tapping video or something, right? It was like,
I stopped that. I don't do that anymore.
Okay, perfect. Good. Like, YouTube is timeless. So if you think about what you help people with, in 10 years, people will still have the same problem. Like if you're tapping on stress and anxiety or grief because you just lost a loved one, or like, unfortunately, in 10 years, people will still have those same problems. And what you do is timeless. Like, you're still going to be teaching tapping in 10 years. It's not after 2025, this thing expires and doesn't work anymore, right? Like Blab. Blab doesn't work anymore, but tapping will keep working.
Such a shame.
Right? It taps into your physiology, right? As long as you're still a human. Although people do it for dogs too. I don't know if you've ever done animals and pets and stuff, but
not my niche, not my zone of genius.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you're titling the video for a YouTube context, think evergreen. Think like, in 5 years, somebody's still going to see this. What are the problems people will still have in 5 years? If you made that video, like how overweight moms can tap into X, in 5 years, there will still be lots of overweight moms, right? Like, it's still going to be a problem, as opposed to something super current, you know, like tapping about the Canadian trucker convoy, or you know. This is the most news coverage we've got as Canada in like maybe forever.
Oh dear.
So like, if you were to help a Canadian trucker tap away their anxiety and stress over government lockdowns or whatever, it's just framing it. It's like the situation doesn't matter. It's like, here's somebody who is feeling super stressed out, and you're going to help him tap out of that stress, right? So like, in the titling of the video, we're not putting Canadian trucker convoy, freedom rally, or whatever. We're putting
I'd love to help a stressed trucker.
They need you. There's I mean, I think as Canadians, we're usually pretty calm and civil and polite and nice, but this has caused some global controversy. But anyway, inside of everybody's story, there's something specific, but the job for titling a YouTube video is to make it more broad, so that, again, in 3 years, people still will think about it. So we're not putting Canadian trucker rally. We're talking about tapping your way through stress, or, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the timeless stress, anxiety, insomnia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at the formula in Movement Makers from last week,
I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch the video, and I would look at the PowerPoint file. I know we've done a ton of trainings, but like, that's super relevant, because if you can pick the right adjective, like how stressed out, you know, it's the adjective, and then the demographic, single dads can X, like how stressed out single dads can, right? Or how anxious, anxiety filled divorcees can, or like whatever, like making it more specific, then starts to think, oh my gosh, this is really for me. It's not just tapping about manifestation, talking to people. It's like, she's talking to me in this one video, and then you make more to different people.
Brilliant.
It's fun. Like, most important thing is it's fun. Like, you'll have fun.
Yeah. No, I would literally make tapping videos all day long for every different demographic of people, because I love helping people, and it's just a really quick, effective tool to, you know, shift your vibration. So yeah, I love doing it, but I love the focus that you've given me as well here.
How long does it take you to do, like, how long is a session?
Oh,
like, how long would a live session be? I know it can vary, but if you're going to do a show, how long would it take you to go through?
I guess depending on how much background I'd say 30 to 45 minutes on a one person, one problem, one round of tapping. Obviously, I don't want to go too deep, and that, obviously, well, I'm going to keep people within the realms of safety, and don't want to poke too much trauma, because obviously it's my responsibility as a coach to then keep it contained. So yeah, I'd say 35 to 40 minutes, and I would put some parameters that I'm not going to go through child sex abuse or anything like that live on camera. I want to keep it kind of more I don't know, I guess people know me for manifestation, abundance, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's what people kind of know me for anyway.
Like if you're not screening people, you may get that every now and then.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you deal with it? It's like, hey, I don't want to dive into that. Or is there a version of it that you can do without diving too deep into the trauma and the story? Like, can you still help them or not? That's more of a personal decision. But in that 35, 40-minute session, how much time is actually tapping versus like beginning conversation, end conversation?
Well, I do like to talk to people to get the story and the background, because that's really important, as you said, the storytelling bit. But then the tapping itself, probably about 10 minutes, 10 to 15. Yeah, depending, because we shift, we bring up the problem, we let go of the problem, and then we tap into the positive. And it could be 1, it could be 2 rounds of tapping. I do like to work quite fast, and yeah, typically when my members have a hot seat, that's kind of we only really do 1 round. And by the end of it, people see huge shifts and feel so much better and want to take the action. And my thing is about helping people clear the blocks so that they can then take the action that's going to move them towards getting the stuff on their vision board.
So is it like 10, 10, 10 kind of thing, like 10 convo, 10 tapping, 10 convo-ish?
No, I think we end with the tapping. Yeah, so probably 20.
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you do some kind of check-in to say, like, how you feeling?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, we do check-in. Yeah, so I'd say, a couple of minutes convo at the end to, wrap it up, how you're feeling. And then very rarely that we then go on to do more tapping. We generally, for like a hot seat version, obviously when people work with me one-to-one, it's different. We go deeper and we go longer, work for weeks. But yeah, and then people then decide if they need further or not.
Yeah, Camille's saying break it down into several smaller sessions. I wouldn't break it down, because you lose the flow and the vibe. Like if Melanie's session is 35 minutes to 40 minutes, then that's what it is. Yeah, don't do part 1 and part 2 and part 3, and it's like people won't. If somebody joins in at part 3, it's not making any sense. Like
no.
What are we watching? So if it's a 40-minute session, it's a 40-minute session. Yeah, I would honestly book those as many times as you feel comfortable doing. That could be a daily show. It could be every day at noon.
Wow. Okay.
Because think about it, it's only 35 to 40 minutes of your time. Like the length of the show is the only time. You don't need to put any prep work in. Ready for it. Your VAs can help you book people, or you can just bring people up live and do it live with people. So there's no extra prep work that you have to worry about, scripting, any of that other stuff. So it puts the time into what you are great at, which is going to be actually with somebody coaching and helping them. If you wanted to go the extra mile, you could have a second camera on you. So it's not just your phone camera, but there's like you with a professional camera, and then you here on IG. But you don't have to do it. Like when you get to the tapping part, you can like just have a second camera angle. But again, not the end of the world. But yeah, like at least once a week. At least once a week. I would love to see 3 times a week. And if you wanted to go daily, that's great.
Right. Well, the Tapping with Mel show is coming.
Good. And if you make it a certain time every day, or every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever, people get used to it and they'll come back. And they'll say, "Hey, pick me," or they'll join your program because they like doing it with you, and they want like customized attention.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I love that answer. And yeah, I'm really genuinely excited to get started.
Cool. you never know where it's gonna go. But this is another great session. We love you, Melanie. I love the smile. I love your heart. I love how much you care and how much good you're trying to put up. I mean, you do it in your way. I do it my way. You're helping people in a way that I can't, and I love it. Thank you for being.
Thank you so much. Yeah, love Movement Makers, and yeah, come and check Evan out and Movement Makers out. I'll see you in the next session.
Thank you, Melanie. Have a great night.
If you want to see another awesome one-on-one I did with an entrepreneur just like you, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Instagram is dying. Instagram is just not as relevant as it was a year ago or 3 years ago, and it won't be as relevant in a year from now compared to other platforms. Like YouTube and TikTok are the place to be.